Everybody tells you the same thing. Just buy a Toyota. And look, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that's bad advice, because it isn't. Toyota build a good car. I've had them on the ramp with 200,000 miles on them and nothing much wrong. But that advice has hardened into a rule, and rules stop people thinking. Because there are 4 brands sold in this country right now that will either go the distance just as well as a Toyota or cost you meaningfully less to keep on the road while they do it. And the one at number 1 is going to annoy some of you, because technically it's the same company and it still beats them. Now, I'll be straight with you about something before we start. 2 of these 4 are owned by the same company, and I'm going to tell you why they're both here anyway, because what they offer you is genuinely different. If you want somebody to tell you everything's brilliant, there's plenty of that on here. This is what the surveys say, what the claims data says, and what I see on the ramp. Let's get on with it. I'm Terry Halloran, 60, and I've spent most of my life under cars in Greater Manchester. Independent garages mostly. The sort of place people come to when they can't afford to get it wrong. I don't sell cars. No manufacturer pays me a penny. I've got no badge loyalty, and nobody's buying me lunch to say nice things about anybody. Hit subscribe before we start. It's free, and this is the sort of thing that stops a mate signing for something daft on a Saturday morning. Right, where this comes from, because there's a lot of American content on this subject, and almost none of it works here. The Americans quote Consumer Reports, J.D. Power, and Repair Pal. Find sources, wrong country. Different models, different engines, different warranties, different tax. Over here, what counts is the what car. Reliability survey, which runs to over 30,000 owners and a couple of hundred models. The Honest John Satisfaction Index. The Warranty-Wise Reliability Index. And warranty claims data, actual claims paid out, not opinions, across the manufacturers selling here. One number to hold on to for the whole video. Across all the manufacturers in that claims data, the average claim rate is around 28%. That's your benchmark, and I'm ranking these on 2 things at once: how long they go and what they cost you when something needs doing. Those aren't the same question, and most videos only answer one of them. Number 4, Kia. And before anybody starts typing, yes, Kia and Hyundai are the same group, and Hyundai's coming up at number 3. Stay with me, because what they hand you is not the same thing at all, and the difference matters depending on how you buy. Kia give you 7 years or 100,000 miles, and here's the part that most people never register. It transfers to the next owner. Think about what that does. You buy a 3-year-old Kia and you've still got 4 years of manufacturer cover. Nobody else in the mainstream hands you that on a used car. And when you come to sell it at 5 years old, the bloke buying it inherits 2 more, which means he'll pay you more for it. That warranty is still working for you on the day you get rid of the thing. Nobody writes a check that long unless they're fairly confident about what they've built. And on my ramp, Kias are straightforward. Sensible layouts, nothing hidden behind 6 other components, parts available and cheap because they're shared across millions of cars with Hyundai. No dealer-only software, no special tools. Any decent independent can do the work. That's the practical half of this. A car that any garage can fix is a car where you get to choose the price. Now the honest bit, and it's a real scar. There was a run of engines in the earlier Sportage and Sorento era with genuine bearing problems, and Kia and Hyundai both got beaten up badly over it. Recalls, extended warranties, the lot. If you're looking at anything from that period, you want paperwork proving the work was done. No paperwork, walk away. 2 more things to check. That 7-year warranty only survives if the car's been serviced to schedule, so the service book matters more here than on almost anything else. A Kia with gaps in it has lost the single best thing about owning one. And on the automatics with the twin-clutch gearbox, that box needs its own oil service. It is not sealed for life. Get one with a full book and you've got the longest usable cover in the mainstream market on a car anybody can fix. Number 3. Hyundai. And this one is about what happens when it goes wrong, not just whether it does. Hyundai give you 5 years of warranty in this country, and here's the part people miss. It's unlimited mileage. Not 5 years or 60,000. 5 years, however far you drive. Think about what that means if you're doing proper mileage. A rep doing 30,000 a year is out of a typical German 3-year, 60,000 warranty before the 2nd birthday. On a Hyundai, he's covered to 150,000 miles. So there's your difference between these two. Kia gives you length and it transfers. Hyundai gives you distance and no ceiling. If you're a low mileage owner who changes cars every few years, take the Kia. If you're the one doing motorway miles, the Hyundai is worth more to you than any of it. Nobody writes either of those checks unless they're confident. And the engineering underneath is shared between the two, which is the practical bit for me. Same platforms, same engines, same components across an enormous number of cars on British roads. Parts are everywhere. They're cheap, and every independent garage in the country can work on them without special tools or dealer-only software. That last point matters more than people realise. A car you can only get fixed at one place is a car. Somebody else sets the price on. Same warning as the Kia on the older engines. Paperwork or walk away. The newer stuff is a different animal, and the aggregated British surveys now put Hyundai alongside the Japanese brands on fault rates while undercutting them on price. What to check on a used one? Keep the service book stamped because the warranty dies without it. And on the diesels, the usual particulate filter story. If you're doing 3 miles to the shops and 3 miles back, buy the petrol instead. Quick favour before the top 2. If this is any use, give the like button a tap. Takes a second, costs you nothing, and it puts this in front of somebody about to overpay for a badge this weekend. Cheers. Number 2, Skoda. And this is the one where you genuinely get something for nothing, so let me explain how it works. Skoda is Volkswagen, not similar to Volkswagen. Owned by, engineered by, and built on the same platforms as Volkswagen, with the same engines, the same gearboxes, and largely the same suppliers. An Octavia and a Golf are the same car with different clothes on, and it costs less. New, used, and, this is the bit that matters over 10 years, on parts. Because here's what happens at my end. Those components aren't fitted to one car, they're fitted to millions of them across Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, and Skoda. That's the biggest parts pool in Europe. So the aftermarket for them is enormous, the competition is fierce, and the prices reflect it. A part that would cost you a fortune on a low-volume car costs sensible money here simply because so many exist. And every independent garage in Britain knows these cars inside out. You are never stuck. You are never waiting a fortnight. You are never being told the dealer is the only option. On top of that, Skoda quietly build the practical stuff nobody else bothers with. The Octavia estate boot, the umbrella in the door, the ice scraper in the fuel flap. It's a company run by people who actually use cars. Now the honest bit, and there's a proper amount of it, because you have to buy the right one. The DSG automatic gearbox needs its own oil and filter service, roughly every 40,000 miles. It is not sealed for life, whatever anybody tells you. Skip it, and you're looking at a bill that dwarfs what the service would have cost. Ask for proof it's been done. On the older small petrol engines, the earlier TSI engines from around 2009 to 2011 had timing chain and tensioner problems. Listen for a rattle on a cold start. First thing in the morning, that's the chain slapping the guides. Clean oil, changed on time, is what keeps that chain alive. And on the diesels, particulate filter again. Short journeys will kill it. Get a well-serviced one, and you're running German engineering on check prices with the whole country able to fix it. Right. Number 1. If you've stuck with me this far, do me a favor and subscribe before I say it, because this is the one that'll start an argument in the comments. And number 1, Lexus. Now I can hear it already. Terry, Lexus is Toyota. You've cheated. I haven't, and here's why this is the most interesting answer on the list. Lexus is a separate operation. Separate design, separate assembly standards, separate quality control, and famously obsessive about tolerances. They take a proven Toyota architecture and then build it to a tighter standard with better materials. And it shows up in British data, not American data. Lexus regularly tops the Honest John Satisfaction Index. That's owners in this country scoring their own cars with a figure above 97%. And it's taken the Auto Trader Driver's Choice Award for reliability multiple years running, which is voted by British owners. So the brand that outlasts Toyota is, in a sense, Toyota, doing it properly, without a budget target hanging over it. Now, the money, because that's the promise of this video, and this is where Lexus is genuinely misunderstood. People assume luxury badge means luxury bills. On a German car, largely true. On a Lexus, not really, and there are 2 reasons. First, the parts and the supply chain are shared with Toyota. That's an enormous volume of components going through the same system, so pricing and availability behave like a mainstream brand, not a boutique one. Second, there is a big network of independent Toyota and Lexus specialists in Britain, and a good one will charge you a fraction of main dealer rates for identical work on an identical car. Put those together and you get something unusual. A genuinely luxurious car with mainstream running costs. The engines are the other half of it. Lexus stayed with bigger, naturally aspirated petrol engines and hybrids, while everybody else went to small turbos. Fewer heat cycles, less stress, less to go wrong. Their V6 hybrids routinely go to enormous mileages with nothing dramatic happening at all. Now the honest bit, Because there always is one. If you're buying an older hybrid, an RX in particular, the traction battery is aging on every single one of them now. The good news is that specialist firms will recondition or replace individual modules for far less than a dealer battery, so it's a manageable cost rather than a write-off. Get the battery health checked before you hand over money. Any decent Lexus independent will do it. And they are heavy cars. Tires, brakes and suspension components all cost accordingly, so budget for that rather than pretending it away. But if what you want is a car that feels expensive, costs sensible money to run, and is still going strong, when the German equivalent has been broken for parts, this is it. And the survey data from British owners says so year after year. Now, one thing about Toyota, because I've been fair to everybody else and I'll be fair to them. Toyota's warranty in this country is genuinely the best of any mainstream manufacturer. Toyota Relax runs up to 10 years or 100,000 miles. American videos will tell you it's 5 years. That's their market, not ours. But read how it works, because this is my end of the business. You get 3 years to start. Then every single time you have it serviced at a Toyota dealer, they add another 12 months. Miss one or take it to your local independent and the cover stops dead. So the longest warranty in Britain is also the longest leash in Britain. 10 years of main dealer servicing at main dealer prices at the one counter where you're most likely to be sold, work you didn't need. That's not a scandal and it's not dishonest. It's a straightforward trade, and for a lot of people it's worth taking. But it is a trade, and you should know you're making it. Because every brand on this list you can hand to an independent tomorrow and pay a third less. Now, something that costs you nothing and works on whatever you drive, including the Toyota. Learn to read your own oil. Once a month, engine cold, car on level ground. Pull the dipstick right out, wipe it, put it back, pull it again, and look at it properly in decent light. 3 things. The level. Low oil is the quietest killer I see. Most people never look until a warning light comes on, and by then it's been running low for months. The feel. Rubber drop between your fingers. Good oil is slick. If it feels gritty, that's metal. And metal in the oil means something upstream is wearing out. And the big one, the colour. If it's milky, like coffee with too much milk in it, on the dipstick or under the filler cap, that's coolant getting into your oil. Head gasket or worse. Catch that early and it might be a few £100. Leave it and you're buying an engine. While you're there, take the coolant cap off, engine stone cold, never hot, and look for an oily film on top. Same warning from the other direction. 2 minutes a month with a paper towel. I've had people catch a head gasket that way and save themselves thousands. Quick run back. 4. Kia. 7 years of cover that transfers to the next owner, still working for you on the day you sell it. 3. Hyundai. 5 years with unlimited mileage and parts shared with Kia across millions of cars. 2. Skoda. Volkswagen engineering, the biggest parts pool in Europe, and every garage in the country able to fix it. Just service the DSG. And 1. Lexus. British owners rate it top year after year, and it runs on Toyota's parts network, luxury car, mainstream bills. Here's what I actually want you to take away, and it's bigger than any of these 4. 2 questions decide what a car costs you and almost nobody asks the second one. How often does it break? And when it does, who's allowed to fix it? A car that rarely goes wrong but can only be touched by one dealer network is a car where somebody else writes the number on the invoice. A car that occasionally needs something, but that any decent independent can sort with parts off the shelf, will cost you less over 10 years, every time. That's why parts availability is on this list as heavily as reliability. It's the half of the equation the adverts never mention, and it's the half you live with. So tell me in the comments, which one surprised you? And what have you actually got? How many miles is it on? And what's it cost you? Those replies are worth more to the next person watching than anything I can read off a survey. If this helped, hit like and subscribe. That's how these keep coming. And there's a card up on screen now with another one of these. Have a look, it's worth your time. Look after yourselves, look after your motors, and I'll see you next time.